Hey there, cats and kitties. I'm the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 9 of the anime series, Fune wo Amu, or The Great Passage. This is a cute little episode, I gotta say. And it was really interesting because, of course, last episode hallmarked a time skip of what I suspect to have been 3 years. And this episode is not to be discounted in that because we're definitely seeing the months flying by. The seasons are full on changing throughout the course of this episode, and it's all to do with whiling away the hours on trying to perfect the Great Passage Dictionary on its last legs. You know, before publishing, they're trying to perfect the paper. We have Miyamoto coming back with multiple different styles of paper and everything, and thickness and all this kind of stuff, and the first time out in the episode do we see it's still not perfect. It's not up to Majime's standards, and by the end it's a happy circumstance that, of course, he found the right consistency in the paging for this particular publishing, and it's all worked out. But I just found it absolutely adorable that Nishioka, I don't know what the first volume Kishibe had found on the shelf was, if it was Nishioka's transcription of Majime's original love letter to Kaguya or not. But one way or the other, she finds this and she suspects something's up and that it has to do with Majime. And so she texts Nishioka, who is very receptive. It's almost as though he had it planned in the works to lead her on sort of a little goose chase and find the original written work of this, profession of love from Majime to Kaguya. And I love the way she just breaks out laughing when she's piecing together what it is. And the fact that she gets Mr. Matsumoto involved as well in like seeing this is the kind of person Majime is. This is how he communicates. He's not the most adept, as we've seen from the get-go, at speaking his mind. It's very much, he's much more a literary-minded person, which is something I can heavily relate to, which quite simply, it just comes down to, I feel like I can write the way I'm thinking and feeling sometimes better than I can speak it. And in doing YouTube videos, it's one of those things where I kind of think I've set up an equilibrium for that, where I'm a little more, corresponding in mind verbally, being able to speak what I'm thinking and such like that. But it's very much a learning curve process that Majime himself has been on, and he still, even to this late date, envies Nishioka's being able to freely talk, just be able to converse with people and be off the cuff, be on the fly, and be adaptable to whatever conversation sort of situation he'll enter. And so it was just absolutely hilarious to me that, Kishibe, she finds this letter and she's really trying to understand and become adaptable herself to the stylings of Majime, to the kind of person he is. And I love that Matsumoto really brings it home to her that, he's complimenting you, he feels a rapport with you, he's choosing his words and selecting his words, which is something he sees as a benefit in the way you are as a person, the way Kishibe is as a person. And so he can relate to her on that level, and she's still kind of like, a doe lost in the woods, in that she's still not quite sure what that means, and it takes Matsumoto's sort of advising her, being a shoulder to lean on, to really, put it in a frame of reference she can understand, where if you have a friend and you're talking to that friend about a particular topic and they just aren't quite getting it, you're going to try to find a way to explain it in a more relatable fashion, in a way that they will understand it better and grasp onto what you're trying to say. And she seems to, the other leg drops. She seems to understand it and appreciate it from that point of view. And I had suspected, sort of in the early going, when Miyamoto comes in with the first printed volume, even an episode ago, but then the first one, as we see in this episode, which is technically the second that we see of this, Great Passage sort of template book, and the paper still isn't working out. The way Kishibe is kind of like looking at him and kind of being all hopeful and everything, I had started to suspect, I wonder if there's going to be something between them. And I thought it was all kinds of awesome that when finally he achieves the right page consistency, he actually manages to like ask her out to drinks or something like that, and she's taking it kind of like a celebratory thing. I don't know if she's quite getting the idea that he's interested in her, or she just wants to go out and have fun, celebrate that we finally nailed the right kind of pages and everything. I don't know if she's quite coming at it from the same point of view as him, but I just thought it was all kinds of cute that here we have sort of puppy love going on between these two. And I love that. I love... it's kind of like I touched upon when she first entered the fray. Before I grasped onto the idea that there had been a time skip in the previous episode, I was afraid, like, oh, is there going to be a love triangle thing? Is she going to think Majime is into her, or vice versa? Is she going to be into Majime? He's got Kaguya and like all this stuff. And thankfully, none of that crap, that melodrama entered the fray whatsoever. I should have known this series is too good for that. And so I love the direction that it's going. We see Majime, even at this late date, as I say, he's still very much envious of Nishioka, who is someone who is more free-going with his discussions and being able to relate to people. Majime still has that kind of uphill battle to really, align his mind with what he wants to say and vice versa, And so even though that is the case, are we still seeing a very forthright Majime? He's going to the meetings. He's going to try to impress upon this particular publishing company. We need, 200,000 copies. That's what a typical dictionary in its publication, that's what they get from right out of the gate. And they're trying to talk him down off of it. They're like, we don't really want to pay that much, spend that much, and have all these books in the warehouse we can't sell. And he's trying to assure them. I don't think he has the same level of confidence that a Nishioka would, where Nishioka would probably feel like he's going to sell them on it, and Majime, he's just not sure if he's really carrying that weight. It still bugs him to this point. He's been doing it for a while now, as we know, to try to push this thing and sell it and bring it home. And it's not working out for him. So, of course, when they meet up later, he's lamenting that fact. And Nishioka claims he has an idea. Now, like a student comes in for lunch to this little restaurant they're having lunch at or whatever. And I don't know if that had something to do with it, if he's trying to, get like students involved or a school involved or something like that to purchase this, dictionary in bulk or whatever. I don't know what his plan is, but it just seemed to be hallmarked with Majime's noting that here was this child with a backpack. Then all of a sudden Nishioka's like writing something like, really cunning and coy, like he has, this plays into some kind of idea that he has. I don't know. But yeah, overall, this episode was just beautiful and funny up until the very end, where there's kind of a 1-2 punch of, I wonder what's going on. You have Mr. Matsumoto being sent home by Majime because he's not feeling well. He's getting up there in age, and, I kind of started to fear, are these the sort of clarion call warning signs that he's maybe not going to be long for the wind? Is he going to maybe, untimely pass away before the thing is published? I'm not sure about that. I hope not. I hope he gets to see it come to its culmination and fruition before that happens. But then, of course, the other aspect is, as Kishibe is going through the notes and everything like that, she realizes, I don't know what the word was, but it seems to be something of grand significance, that there is a word missing in the final notes that are supposed to go toward the publishing. And it seems to really completely and utterly dismantle Majime's confidence about the whole project. Suddenly, in just the span of a few seconds, when he correlates, hey, this word's not in there, are there more? And suddenly his heart starts thumping. It's kind of like the Doki Doki thing from Scorching Ping Pong Girls, where they get sort of all hot and bothered and excited in the heat of challenging each other, playing the game. Only this is the opposite effect. It's almost like he's having a heart attack. Like, oh my God, the nerves, the panic attack, it's all ramping up because they've put so much work into this. How could they have missed even a single word? And I don't know, because I don't read the Japanese or whatever it is. I don't know if the word was there, but the definition was not. If the word was entirely, void from the publication, the planned publication notes and everything like that. Or what the word was even. I don't know if it was a significant particular definition or word that was not, included in it. But it definitely rocked him to his foundations, because now it's like, what have we been doing? If even a single word is missing and we're just about to go to printing, it's going to dismantle everything. It's going to unwind everything, unravel it all. And that is a very frightening prospect for all the time, all the effort, all the strenuous length to which all of these people have gone, especially Majime, at trying to see this thing to fruition, to its completion. And there's a misstep. How many more missteps could there be? That's insane to contemplate. And so yeah, another enjoyable episode in the series. Can't wait to see where we go from here. And I just love it. I love all the characters in the series. I love the charm and, the atmosphere that it has and carries with it. I was very much, once again, reminded of Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju, in that we're seeing sort of a changing of the guards, in a sense, as to who is gaining the focus in the story. Majime, when he was the new dog on the block, the new kid on the block, the focus was on him, and now we've kind of changed tides where he's still a large part of the story, as well as Nishioka and Mr. Matsumoto and all that kind of stuff, but we're seeing and spending a lot more time with Kishibe and now Miyamoto and all that kind of stuff, and I like that they have become sort of welcome family members, as Mr. Matsumoto says. We're expanding the family, and that's very much the sensation I had with the debut of her character in the previous episode, as well as Miyamoto's, who had a little larger of a presence in this one. And so it's a welcome addition. It's a welcome sort of, lengthening of the plot and the characters. And I'm just really curious to see how many more bumps in the road there may be, or hopefully won't be, in seeing this to its completion. And so yeah, otherwise it'll be pretty much it for me on this, and I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.